The visit of Sievers and Schaefer to Dachau shows the connection between the theory and the practice of the Ahnenerbe, between the archaeological digs and the Sanskrit scholarship and the crimes against humanity. Schaefer's colleague from Tibet, Bruno Beger, would later go to Auschwitz to make face masks of Jewish prisoners. All of them protested that this was done for the purposes of science. The Allied officer who interrogated Sievers at the end of the war summed it up like this: "The Ahnenerbe's plan," he said, "linked the picking of the brains of contemporary historians and scientists with the picking of the flesh off the bones of the unfortunate victims whose skulls were needed as exhibition pieces, along with those who'd been dug up from their prehistoric resting places." Great scholars of international repute who worked for the Ahnenerbe. Do you think they knew about the atrocities that were being done by other parts of the organization? Did the historians and archaeologists know about this?
Yes, I'm sure they knew that. One has to see that each intellectual person in that time, and even within these roles that these archaeologists played, high-ranking SS officers that wore uniforms and so on, they were together in discussions within the council of the Ahnenerbe. Jan Kuhn was very near to Himmler, for example. So I know they knew that.
They knew.
And it is just a question of how we see that. How we see that now. Was it okay that they knew that? And they say it was because we took the chance to support our subject, our archaeology, and the other things we couldn't change.
(1944). Himmler says the unsayable. He tells senior Nazis of the killing of the Jews. The knights of the Round Table still ride like a pale shadow behind the doleful text of the speech. Never has our courage failed. Never have we lost our sense of humour. The job was accomplished without our men or our officers suffering injury to spirit or soul.
Man kann den ganzen Krieg vergleichen mit dem Glaubenskrieg. Wir alle haben nie geglaubt, dass wir den Krieg verlieren würden, weil das Gedankengut so edel, so gut war. Und so Hitler wollte nie Krieg. Und Hitler wollte nur das ganze Germanien tun, um die Rasse zusammenbündeln.
Sievers, Military Tribunal 1 has found and adjudged you guilty of war crimes, crimes against humanity, for your said crimes on which you have been and now stand convicted. Military Tribunal 1 sentences you, Wolfram Sievers, to death by hanging, and may God have mercy upon your soul. The officer of the guard will remove the defendant Sievers.
All members of the Ahnenerbe, in spite of Sievers, who was executed, but all members of the Ahnenerbe became important scholars in the post-war period. And after only a very few years, most of these archaeologists became the heads of departments of new institutions. And it is an interesting aspect that one can't find pictures of SS Ahnenerbe archaeologists that wore uniforms within the literature. It is very difficult to get pictures of that.
Sievers was executed in this yard, overlooked by the window of the room where Hitler wrote Mein Kampf. These events took place 50 or 60 years ago now, and it would be easy to dismiss Sievers and the scholars of the Ahnenerbe as a lunatic fringe. But that's not how they were seen by the Allied officers who interrogated them. Their report ends by saying this: "It cannot be too strongly emphasized that this was not a crackpot organization. And these were men of the highest caliber, professors from the leading universities, men of the caliber of the atom splitters and the V-bomb designers, engaged in a project to rewrite the record of the past in order to influence the future course of history."
Good.